Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you tonight is something that I'm picking up around the Harris Walz campaign ticket around gun control. And this I've never seen before. This is going to intrigue you and blow your mind a little bit at the exact same time. Everything that I've got for you is going to be linked in the description box below as we go through these clips on CNN. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on if you want to fight this off and pass our gun rights to the next generation by defeating the opponents that we have in front of us. Please make sure you take that action and do that. And with that said, let's get right into this. Enough of the setup. I'm going to take you to CNN. Now, the clips that we're about to walk into, they are truly bizarre. Because what I'm very used to seeing in my political experience around the gun control, around gun rights, that fight, Democrats, Republicans, they always retreat to their very established camps. They always do. Democrats, gun control, common sense, gun violence, blah, 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 blah. Republicans, Second Amendment, gun rights. Obviously. Okay, it's pretty clear. But what we're seeing right now is an inversion of reality that I've never seen before. Kamala Harris' campaign, the first thing that they did with this was they made her the amazing solution of border. Day one, she's going to fix the border, even though she's been in responsibility of the border for the past 4 years. It's been this inversion of a weak point into a strength. Now, I think it's propaganda and BS, and I'm not sure if it's going to hold water, but what I'm about to show you is the exact same thing they're doing with gun control. They are now positioning and twisting themselves to say they are the common sense candidates. They believe in gun rights. It really is bizarre. So the way that you guys can help this is send this one out because we're about to dispel some propaganda in a big way. This is intriguing. The first one is that the timestamp is 1:45. I'm going to show you and then we're going to break it down. There's two clips I really want to run by you. Check this out. Again, CNN.
Against Walz. I think they're trying to lean into a few issues that I don't fully understand. Initially, it was with their TV campaign leaning into trying to look tougher on the border than Donald Trump. Now they have Walz out here seemingly trying to look tougher on the Second Amendment than Trump and Vance. They're never going to win these debates. I'm not sure why they're doing it, but I don't think they're going to win these debates, and I don't think a bunch of Second Amendment enthusiasts in the middle of the country are going to be rushing out to buy Kamala Harris hats. I know they were previewing those tonight, but that's just not going to happen. And so it seems like more talking point fodder than actual political strategy to me.
Okay, so maybe he doesn't win on guns against two Republicans, but what about IVF? I mean, that was something.
Well, just on the point about guns, I don't think he was trying to be tougher than Republicans or on the Second Amendment. What he was saying is you can believe in the Second Amendment and still believe in common sense gun safety laws like universal background checks.
Can you
I think most Americans agree with that.
Can you also believe in mandatory gun buyback programs? Because that's what Harris believes in. They're trying to soften her previous radical positions. That's the point of it. But when you have her in her own words, and this is the challenge for the Trump campaign, is not let him sidetrack you from these debates where you've got her in her own words on that and many other issues.
I think it.
All right, this right here, there's so much in this one clip. And guys, like I said, let me know if I'm landed this plane right down there in the comments field, because this right here is really rare. So you saw the conversation around guns, and the Republican guy, that's the guy in the blue suit who you just saw. It's not David Axelrod, but the guy with the red tie. His name's Scott Jennings. And what he put forward was they're not going to win on who's the more common sense gun candidate because we have a Second Amendment and they're gun controllers. That doesn't even make sense. Why are they doing that? They're not going to turn people in the middle of the country, which he's referring to the three swing states, Michigan, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. You're not going to all of a sudden turn Second Amendment supporting enthusiasts, the people that will watch this channel, into an anti-gun or a Democrat gun voter. That's just not going to happen. And now that's normal. You'd expect him to say that. But something else that happened was Caitlin Collins, who's the host right there in the white little suit jacket thing. She tried to pivot to one of Kamala Harris's strengths, abortion. She tried to straight pivot. Normally, that would be an off-road that the Democrats would jump all over. But you're about to see David Axelrod jump into, no, I want to talk more about guns. It does not happen normally in politics where you see the Democrat refocus in on something that is their weak point. That's the entire point of this video. They are focusing in on what is a well-known weakness of the Democrats and trying to position it from a representation of strength. Last 4 years have been nothing but gun control all the time, anytime. Biden has pounded it. Kamala Harris has pounded it. Now all of a sudden they're going down the road of we're the best candidates for the Second Amendment preservation. Guys, something weird is happening. I mean, like, you just saw the exact same thing. Even David Axelrod reaffirmed it and said, no, we are the common sense candidate. Like, we totally support the Second Amendment, but you can believe in these things. Something is happening around their positioning of guns, and it's very odd. Anyway, that's just my observations. I'm hypersensitive to these things because this is what I do pretty much all the time. But let me get into this next one because we get another affirmation of that exact same thing. This is the person running the Harris campaign. Listen to what she says. And again, it reaffirms everything that I just said in that first segment. Listen to this.
Do it in his own words. I agree with David. 60% of Americans believe in universal background checks. They believe in the new Office of Gun Violence Prevention. That is the first time they've ever had one in this office. We know that gun violence is an epidemic in this country and it needs to be solved. And most people believe in the reasonable solutions. We got a little bit of it done under this. The first time in 30 years, we had bipartisan gun legislation after the Uvalde shooting, but there still needs to be more. And I think that this is a conversation that you could have with Republicans some Republicans that might not want to support Trump, independents and Democrats.
Well, and he
Okay. And then she goes off the rails again back into abortion because CNN wants to talk about abortion because it's Harris's strength. That's the only thing she's winning on. But again, the person that you just saw, the contributor in the green, Ashley, I think is her name. What she just doubled down back to guns. That doesn't happen. They are avoiding talking about the things that Harris is the strongest on, and they're going back to the thing that she's the weakest on. They did the exact same thing with the border. What you are fully in the midst of is a gaslighting campaign where they are trying to tell everybody who is not paying attention that they are the strong candidate for gun rights. Gun rights, but it doesn't even compute. It almost made me short circuit when I saw this like 4 times. I had to watch it that many times just to see what in the world was happening. Understand, the points that she's bringing out, 60% of Americans believe in universal background checks. That's because they don't know what universal background checks are. They're talking about the NICS background check system, which already exists. Everything's well, of course I support that. It exists. Right. That's the whole point. People in the middle don't know all the nuance. They just know that it exists. So yeah, I support it. Universal background checks requires a universal registry. Every single gun can be basically taken in time through a registry. It's happened every time before. It'll happen every time after. But that's where she's going down the road. Then she touts the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, which is an executive bureaucracy that was just magically created ad hoc from Biden, of which Kamala Harris was leading. These are not strong points for Harris. These are actually detriments to independents, but they are leaning into them. This is really bizarre. We're going to see more and more of this as this campaign develops, but I hope I landed this plane. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. There is so much to cover. I'll see you then.